April 30th. And we have some live animals descending down in the desert. Bailey, I'm going to kick you the rock.
April 30th, Diamondbacks. We have Matt Hilton of Blue Sky Pest Control, not X Pest Control, Blue Sky Pest Control, coming in to scoop up some bees behind home plate that delayed the proceedings in Arizona that day. And it's not just that Matt Hilton of Blue Sky Pest Control showed up and did his job. It was the element of showmanship. He hammed it up. He was amping up the crowd. He collected the bees, and he threw out the first pitch. He got a Tops Now card. He truly was the story in baseball for about a 24-hour cycle.
He was very good looking. He was like, it all felt very staged, but we're going to trust that it wasn't and just say that it was one of the goofier moments of the season.
This was also against the Dodgers, and Christian Walker hit a walk-off home run that night. And so it all felt very like, man, the Diamondbacks they're doing it. There was a thing on the big board that said, game delayed due to bee colony. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah. And Matt Hilton was like, I got you guys. There was so much, but go back and watching that video, it was amazing. So the fact that it was Blue Sky Pest, maybe it was early. Maybe this was some sort of early promo. Hard to say.
The home run derby. Look, congratulations to Teoscar Hernandez. He had a great final round against Bobby Witt Jr. It was a pretty fun derby. I liked the format where you had some timed, some untimed, but this is about the national anthem, which made waves at this home run derby. This was sung by Ingrid Andress. I hope that's how you say her name. She sang it in sort of if you've ever seen the Vine where the guy's doing like the indie girl voice where he's like, welcome to my kitchen. We got bananas and avocados, like that. Like she sings it in that voice. And it doesn't go over well with the crowd. And it does become one of the more famous anthems. And I think there's something to be said about that, a memorable national anthem either way, because most renditions are pretty forgettable. You have maybe ones that are iconic because they're good, like Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock or Marvin Gaye at the NBA All-Star Game. And then you have the bad ones like Fergie's. And this probably falls more into the bad category. What was curious too was the very next day she updated her socials with the following message. I was drunk last night. I'm checking myself into a facility to get the help I need. I'll let y'all know how rehab is. I hear it's super fun. So just kind of poking fun at that. We wish her the best. I have tried to find any sort of update, but there's been no update on social since this. So Ingrid, thank you for at least delivering us a memorable national anthem. We wish you the best.
I will say this. Considering how bad the anthem was, like, for her talent, I'm glad that she was just not herself. Like, this is someone who has a tiny desk, right?
Oh,
like, this is a real performer. Okay.
They didn't just pull her out of the crowd. I mean, presumably there was some thought that went into choosing her.
She's got chops. And I will say that this is an embarrassing moment that will follow her forever. Yes. But on the scale of things that can send you to rehab, this is relatively benign. And I am glad that she is getting the help that she needs in a way that, at least in this instance, did not harm the well-beings of any other human beings, except for Jordan and I who were there and had to listen to it.
Prediction, assuming she's doing okay, redemptive anthem at some point.
Ooh.
I don't know if they do it at the Derby again, but like maybe Texas invites her back. I could see that happening.
She is from Michigan, it appears.
There you go.
From Colorado. Grew up in Colorado.
It doesn't matter where it is. I'm just saying there will be a ballpark.
Coors Field is perfect. Low stakes. She could do, if she had done exactly what she did in Coors Field, no one would have noticed.
Let's go to April 19th. Another incredible moment for a franchise that was otherwise irrelevant.
Foolish?
Bailey, take it away.
I got it. Yeah, this is the best one for me. Hensley Meulens. A baseball lifer, really, from Curacao, played in MLB, NPB, KBO. He's been a coach at the major league level since 2010. He's been the Rockies hitting coach since 2023. The reason I bring all these things up, he's been on plenty of chartered flights in his lifetime. In his professional life, he has been on plenty. And yet we learned on April 19th that a dream of his was to sit in the cockpit. And that's exactly what he did. And that caused an FAA investigation into his Instagram video, which has since been deleted. It was a United Airlines chartered flight that the Rockies were taking from Denver to Toronto. And he was up there, not just in the cockpit, but in the seat right in front of the flight controls.
The true crime here is not what he did. It's that he posted it. Because if he just goes in there and sits in the cockpit and just goes, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo, no one ever finds out. I posit that other major league affiliated people did this season on planes.
Okay. So
Bailey, agree?
But yeah, do you agree with that?
I agree. And I agree it happens probably pretty often.
On charter flights. I think that is fair. My only pushback is your phrasing, because the true mistake. No. The true crime is what he did, because that is a crime.
It's not a crime if you get away with it.
Okay. All right. Sure. Obviously, this is also
the guy who wants to bury people.
Tough look for the actual United pilot, which I have to imagine was punished severely. Who's all in this video?
My favorite quote from this is from Bud Black, who is still the Rockies manager somehow. And I'm just going to read this. This is from MLB.com, from an article written by beat reporter Thomas Harding. The headline is, Meulens apologizes to Rockies after cockpit incident since deleted social media video led to FAA safety investigation of United Airlines. Okay, this is the quote from Bud Black. Quote, Bam Bam, he apologized, Black said. I can't comment any further because that's what's being called an investigation of the matter. As far as Bam Bam goes, he apologized to the Rockies organization, to United, and to the team. Oh, Bam Bam writing a sorry note to United for going in the cockpit.
Which, the fact that this is his nickname that you have being referenced in this context is just sensational. Because if his name was just, Tim Jones, I don't think this is as funny as Bud Black saying Bam Bam apologized to United.
World Series. Game 4. Mookie Betts jumps up to make a catch on the front row of the stands on the right field line at Yankee Stadium and is held. How would you? You're foolish. Describe this scenario.
Yeah, it was. He is held on by his arm, and he's in this uncomfortable position where he's having to stretch out, but also kind of bounce up and down on the ground. He actually could have gotten hurt during this. I'm glad he didn't. There was potential for injury in this action. And then while this happened, another fan reaches into the glove, pries that open, and the ball drops out. Of course, he had made the catch long before that, so it was called an out. But this was a two-man job that were, the drama was, will they be invited back? Are they banned? And eventually those Game 5 tickets were redistributed. And I think we'll just have to take those because that's the game that they didn't get to go to because of their actions.
Spot on. And should be banned for probably much longer than that, I would say. So, but I agree, because they were like, what do you mean? We can't come to the game. Yeah, no, it was a horrifically stupid thing to do. So you deserve not to go to this. Indisputably, now in retrospect, it's kind of hilarious. What was truly the biggest story of spring training was the uniforms. Now, there are 3 elements to the new failed uniforms that we must celebrate/remember. There's the tiny letters. There's the fact that they were see-through in some very unfortunate places. And then there's the fact, which is sort of related to see-through, which is that if you sweated in them, boy, was it noticeable. So of those 3 storylines, which compelled you the most, Bailey?
It's got to be the see-through, because they were see-through to the point where you could very clearly still see the bottom of the shirt, how it was tucked into the pant. And that was the visual for me that was the most upsetting.
And so the lasting image from that specific storyline has to be the see-through pants of Giants third baseman Casey Schmidt, who you could see his stuff.
You could see more than you wanted to see, which was, again, that's not how pants should work, folks.
Now, a funny byproduct of this is that people started finding examples of baseball players' junk that had nothing to do with the pants. So, like, there were a lot of, like, unfortunate pictures of guys bending over in tight pants being like, look at the new uniforms, where in reality, you know, you're just zooming in on a crotch and you're going to get they're spandex, basically. You know, they're very tight. And so you will get some stuff. I haven't even checked this, but if I do sweaty jersey MLB 2024 and I go to images, I assume I will see Carlos Rodon. And he is the first, like, 8 pictures.
Now this was his first start of the year, I believe, in Houston. Was his when they debuted those grays, and my gosh, was he sticky. And so Carlos just became the face of sweaty baseball players, whether he liked it or not.